okay? And then go find some more. That's what being an American is. And that's what our job is. And if we do not succeed, we will cease to exist. And Obamacare is the linchpin. Because folks, I got news for you. Once I control your health care, I control you. I can make you do anything. If I can say that your daughter can't get that leukemia treatment, you will do anything I tell you. It is an infringement on liberty and freedom. Forget the health part. Forget the economic part. It is a communist principle. And it's real simple. There's no way anybody can know what's best for you other than you. Not some Ivy League grad, not some educated person. Dr. Carson said it last night. The only way to have good health care is through a free market, okay, and through charity, through us taking care of each other. And there's ways to do that. And they don't want that because they want power and control. And that's why they're mad at you and wear that as a badge of honor. You know, the commercials you're seeing on TV about, the guys who are recruiting for the Army and stuff, and they say they run to the fire. You are running towards the fire. Everyone else is running away. We are running towards the fire. And we are willing to fight the people who are not telling the truth and expose them and prove it. And lead with a better way. So I honor all of you. Because we are where we are, and we've stopped Obamacare where it is, and we've kept the debt ceiling from going up as much as it could have, and we got sequestration because of you, because of your efforts. But we have a long way to go, and not much time to do it. Okay? Never give up, never lose hope. I got two last things to say to you that I think are real important. After last year's election, I was just devastated. I'm sure you were too. Not because, first of all, let me say this. I don't care for Mitt Romney's politics, but I think he would have been the most principled president since George Washington. Mitt Romney's an unbelievable human being. I'm humbled by his charity and the way he lives his life. He's an incredible man, okay? And that election was so important to us. And quite frankly, I feel the election was stolen. I do not believe that they won Ohio. I had my own people, I have my own stuff. And what's coming out, I believe completely the election was stolen. Okay? But I was talking to my wife, and we were kind of trying to figure out where do we go from here. And one thing that hit me that I want to share with you. I'm Polish, Zawistowski. I'm Polish, okay? All right? And I thought about some things, and I was trying to look for some role models. And I thought about Lech Walesa, okay? And I thought about these guys, these steel workers in these shipyards in Gdansk. Now, folks, they had been under communist rule for 30 years. They had tanks in their town square. They had people with rifles around them all the time. What in God's name would make them think they could ever be free? What would make you think you could be free? For 30 years, you were not free. You could not speak out against the government. You had no free press. You had nothing that your church was attacked, all this stuff. And yet, in the heart of those people, in the heart of all people, is this flame that burns to be free. And they stood up against the Soviets in this doggone, dingy, dirty shipyard. A guy with an 8th grade education found it within him to lead a nation to freedom. And we're going to give up after losing an election? We're going to give up after 4.5 years? I think not. I think not. Okay? And here's the second thing I always tell people I speak to, and you need to understand this. Okay? This is not a game. This is not just a fight about politics or ideology. Okay? This is for keeps. All right? When we fought the fascists and the Nazis in World War II, when we fought the Imperial Japanese, when we fought the communists in the Cold War, folks, there was no losing. Okay? Hitler gets the bomb a few weeks before we do. We're all speaking German, and a lot of us are dead. Okay? And we never had our families. When you're fighting for your country, There is no trying. You don't try to defeat the Nazis. You don't try to defeat the communists. When you're fighting for your country, there's only winning or dying. There is no trying. You will not try. I will not allow you to try. You will either win or you will die. And so what I mean by that is not that we're going to go out and fight in the streets and we're going to start a revolution. I mean that if I am not free, if our country is not saved, when I'm taking my dying breath, I'll be writing a letter to the editor or something, fighting for it. Because there's only winning or dying. There is no trying. Never forget that. Because that's why America's America. And that's why you're here, and that's why you are who you are. And I'm pleased to be one of you.
You gonna follow that, Charles?
Not very well. Other than to say I second everything you said. But I do have a few closing remarks that, after what Tom said, you probably don't remember these, which is okay because he said some good things. He mentioned Common Core hearings. There are Common Core hearings tomorrow at 5 o'clock in Columbus. We've got 1 or 2 cars that are going down, so if you'd like to go help out with that, to have a presence there, that would be very helpful. When they had the last hearings, they had a lot more people than they anticipated. It was one of the record crowds for a hearing. They had to open up several additional rooms and so forth, and it would be in our best interest to have a good showing at that. It's at 5 o'clock, and I think they're leaving around 1 tomorrow.
We're actually leaving at
11?
but it could run late. The possibility that we could stay over on that time.
Okay.
We'll be leaving at 11 from Target
If you have any interest at all,
and
check with my wife. She's in the back there. Two months ago at our first kind of kickoff meeting of the Lake County Liberty Coalition, we went over 5 Bs. I'd like to review those this evening just very quickly. They overlap with some of the things that Tom said. But first of all, we need to be praying. Okay? We need to be praying. Tom talked about those Judeo-Christian values that our country was founded upon. We need to be praying for our country. Second, we need to be educated. We need to understand and be able to view the things in the proper light so we know what's right, what's wrong, but we need to be educated. There was a survey done several years ago, and approximately 4% of all Americans held to a biblical worldview. That's 4%. A biblical worldview is one in which one views the world through the truths that are in God's Word. The other part of that statistic was 9% of the people who were born again held to a biblical worldview, which is a very disappointing number. Now, what would be a biblical worldview? There were 9 questions or so that made up that survey. Do absolute moral truths exist? Is absolute truth defined by the Bible? Did Jesus Christ live a sinless life? Is God the all-powerful and all-knowing creator of the universe, and does he still rule it today? Is salvation a gift from God that cannot be earned? Is Satan real? Does a Christian have a responsibility to share his or her faith